Hey, welcome to today's conversation. I am really looking forward to diving into this one specifically around how to step into and create the big vision that you have for yourself. Maybe you want to get on stages, maybe you want to write a book, maybe you want to have a six-figure online business, maybe you want to start a business. Whatever your goals are, there is a way to get there. And today I want to share one of the processes that I do with my clients in order to get radical clarity on what is actually in the way. So we can have all the strategy, all the systems, and all the things that we can do and put into action, which is really important in order to get things done. And one of the things that I'm really embracing in my business right now is really working with and on strategic moves versus intuition. And this is coming from someone where I would say 99% of how I used to run my business and my life years ago was on intuition. And it opened up a lot of different doors and opportunities and things that were magical and fun. But at the end of the day, it only got me so far. And so a lot of the time in life, especially as a woman, as we start to step into our intuitive gifts, as we start to understand and learn to trust our intuition, sometimes we can hear this message, at least this is something I've heard a lot in my life, is trust your intuition, do whatever your intuition says and tells you to do. And I love that to a certain extent. And when it comes to going after your dreams, when it comes to achieving certain things, intuition is important, and also there's strategy. So I love to balance intuition, strategy, proven systems, things that work, frameworks to help us make things happen, and also the energetics and the emotionality and what it looks like to be a human in the world today, right? So as humans, we have programming, we have habits, we have behaviors, we have ways that we show up when we're triggered, when we may not even know that we're triggered, or we may step away from something that it is that we want and take actions of self-sabotage, or we may not know how to move forward in certain areas of our life. So instead of moving forward, we quit, we avoid, we distract ourselves, and then we don't move the thing forward in our life or business that we want. Does this sound familiar? I know this is something I've done in life. I've been on the path to achieving certain things and not known how to overcome a challenge that has come up, and as a result, maybe not been so motivated to move forward. So if you're listening to today's conversation around this, we're going to be talking about what is in the way and what can get in the way of achieving your goals so that you can proactively get those things out of the way so that you can show up and really achieve your goals with more ease and flow. And that's what I'm all about, because I'm someone where, it's so funny. I was looking at this kind of goal map that I created for myself about 7 or 8 years ago. And I drew this picture of me being on stage. I had some of my goals written out. Like I wanted to have 40 people in my inner circle, which was a program I ran. I wanted to have an assistant. I wanted to go to Bali. I wanted to spend time in Peru. I had all these things. And now when I look at that goal creation, the things that I had on that drawing that I created, that was essentially the manifestation of my goals into reality. From today's perspective, looking back on that, I was like, oh, my goals actually weren't that big. But for me at the time, they were big. And I think that if I were to have asked myself the question, what could get in the way of me achieving this goal with my business, this goal with being on stage, this goal of my podcast, or whatever the goals were, I think I definitely could have got to certain destinations a lot quicker. So what we're going to do right now is, if you are sitting down, you have a moment to just really take a moment to look at maybe a big goal that you have for the next year, I want you to ask yourself the question, what could actually get in the way? What are things that could get in the way? And I think it's so important to look at what could get in the way so that you can actually get what's in the way out of the way. So, perfect example. So, one of the things that I'm working on right now is I'm working on a book proposal. And with my first book, Turn Your Light On, I didn't do a book proposal. I worked with a publisher out of Australia, and it was a very straightforward process. Whereas this new goal that I have to get picked up by a very specific publisher that has a lot more energy behind what it could create in the world, I have to create a book proposal. And a book proposal, believe it or not, feels like a whole other book creation for me. It's like so much additional work, and there's a lot of strategy behind it, but also a lot of personality and different pieces like research that needs to be put into it. So if I look at that goal of getting picked up by that specific publisher, that's in my big goals and something that I'm stepping into, I have to ask myself, well, what's going to get in the way? Well, avoiding taking action on the book proposal could be one of the things that could happen. I could avoid it. I could get so busy with other projects that I won't have time. So that could be one of the ways that I could potentially show up. And as you're listening to this conversation right now, there might be specific things that you do when you have a big goal. Maybe it's avoidance. Maybe it's being overcommitted. Maybe it's not putting on your calendar. Maybe it's just hoping it will happen or waiting for inspiration and not actually scheduling the time to do it. It could be you don't know how to get from where you are to where you want to go. So you might need to do some research. You might need to hire a coach. You might need to find a mentor, someone who's already done it. You might have, fears and things that come up. You might have subconscious blocks around money that come up that prevent you from putting yourself out there with your new business and asking for people to join your programs. So there's all these things that can get in the way from us achieving our goals. And the reason why I love doing this exercise is because when you know what could get in the way, you can actively plan to get those things out of the way. So in another episode, I talked a little bit about leveling up and some of the things that I have been stepping into this last year and how I started to do hypnotherapy as a way to actively move through imposter syndrome, which I had never had in my life before. But I knew that if I didn't start to work through some of the subconscious pieces that were showing up in these manifestations of these goals that were in my life, that I could potentially sabotage it. So that's exactly what this conversation is about. It's about asking yourself, what is in the way between where I'm at and where I want to be. And so I have a really cool worksheet that I give my clients in Radically Aligned, a personal development and business development company that I have, where I take you through all these different areas of your life where you can actually look at where you are now, get radically honest with that, and also get really clear on where you want to be. If this is something that you'd like to have access to, you can click the link below and grab your free copy of this worksheet and print it off and write down what might be blocking you right now from getting what's in the way out of the way in your life, your business, your relationships, your health, your wealth, all of the things. And then you can start to take the steps, hiring the right experts, getting the right support, planning your life differently so that you are putting your dreams and what's important to you in the forefront of your life and stop putting it on the back burner, or stop potentially even subconsciously avoiding or sabotaging your success. So I hope that this episode, this conversation was helpful. Ask yourself with your big goals, what could be in the way? Is it a mindset thing? Is it a lack of understanding a skill? Is there a skill that I need to learn here? Is there someone I need to hire? Is there a coach that I need to help me with potentially those moments and times when I want to give up? Because I probably will want to give up and quit at some point. Is it mastering my calendar, my schedule? We have a podcast episode on that as well, around mastering your schedule so that you can get more done. So make sure to check that out. And there's also a downloadable piece for that too, if you are someone who's really wanting to become more productive and get on top of your schedule so that you are not overwhelmed. So all of these types of things can get in the way of us not achieving our goals. So again, if you're interested in getting that life assessment on looking at where you're at, what might be in the way, and also getting clear on where you want to be, go ahead and click the link below and sign up for your free copy of that and enjoy the worksheet. If you've enjoyed this episode, I'd love to hear from you. If you're watching it on YouTube, leave a comment. If you're listening on one of the platforms, I'd love for you to subscribe and leave a review. And when you leave a review and take a snapshot of a picture of your review and you email it to us at hello@radicallyaligned.com, you will be entered into an 8-week program, one of our signature programs that is called Turn Your Light On. That's all about getting what's in the way out of the way so that you can shine your light powerfully. So if that is of interest to you, we would so appreciate you writing and creating a testimonial, a written review of this show so far and the value that you're getting from it. And we look forward to hearing from you. So again, in order to achieve your big goals, you got to ask yourself what could get in the way and start planning to get those things out of the way so that you can achieve your big goals with ease. And if you're looking for additional support in that arena, our program, Turn Your Light On 8-week program, is an amazing resource for you where I take you through all of these different blocks and pieces internally that can block you from really shining your light in a bigger way. Hope you enjoyed today's conversation, and I look forward to talking to you soon.